Hi, I'm currently in Columbus, Ohio. As you can see, I'm at the airport, and I'm here to visit a building that is very important not only in the history of local aviation, but in the history of the country's aviation. And that is this building right here. Beautiful old building. And let's go over here and take a look at the historical marker, and then we'll take a better look at the building, and I'll give you some more historical information on that. I do want to apologize for the noise. This is normally a busy road, and it's even busier now with the construction going on. We'll walk up here to the marker. So this is Ohio Historical Marker 94/25, and it was dedicated in 2007 by the Columbus Historical Society, the Berkeley Show family, the Columbus Regional Airport Authority, and the Ohio Historical Society. So it's got a couple pictures there of the early airport. I don't know how well those are showing up. And it reads, the original Port Columbus Airport Terminal was founded by the people of Columbus and was one of the first airport facilities in the United States. It was dedicated on July 8th, 1929. And Port of Columbus was the first transfer point in a westbound transcontinental passenger service, which was operated by the Pennsylvania Railroad, Transcontinental Air Transport, which is known as TAT, and the Santa Fe Railway. Its first passengers departed by rail from New York City on July 7th, 1929, and boarded a TAT Ford Tri-Mode aircraft at the Port of Columbus to fly to Winoka, Oklahoma the following day. They then traveled by rail to Clovis, New Mexico, and completed their journey with a TAT flight to Los Angeles. The scheduled 40-hour trip was celebrated in Columbus, marking the beginning milestone of national airport travel. And as instructed, we'll read the other side of the map. Excuse me there. And it says, with the nation sinking into the Great Depression, the national air travel venture in Port of Columbus was not profitable enough. As a result, the scheduled train plane operation was suspended and replaced with coast-to-coast air service in 1930. The arrival of mail service at the airport in 1930 helped, as did a huge contract with the Curtiss-Wright Corporation in 1940. The Curtiss-Wright leased 83 acres of airport property to produce 6,000 planes, including the SB-2C Helldiver and the SO-3C1 Seagull aircraft, and those were all for World War II. And then the federal government took over the airport operations in 1941, and in 1942, a naval air facility was established, adding several new buildings and lengthening the runways. And then this building served as a passenger terminal until the present terminal opened in September 21st of 1958. And let's take a look at the building, and we'll head around back of it. Once the traffic noise dies down, I can give you some more information on it. But again, a beautiful building. I used to live in Columbus, and at that time, the downstairs windows were not boarded up. You were able to look inside. Wasn't a lot to see in there, but some beautiful tile work. Very bright building, lots of windows. And as you can see by the door, it says future home of Ohio Air and Space Hall of Fame and Learning Center. And I'll fill you in a little bit on some more of that. Looks like the building does need some upkeep on it. So through the years, there's been many plans for this building. Everything from tearing it down to a restaurant, a bar, an events venue, just all sorts of ideas, but nothing's ever come through. So Charles Lindbergh did pick the place to locate this, so he had a big hand in the plans for the building in the airport. And the airport started building this the same year as it opened, so they built pretty quick. But on that July day, there were a lot of people here and a lot of big figures from aviation and the industry. Of course, Charles Lindbergh was here, Amelia Earhart, Henry Ford, and Harvey Firestone. So that's just among some of the bigwigs that were here, as well as a lot of local people. There's the control tower portion up there. So in 2015, The Ohio, I believe it was a historic society, listed this as one of their most endangered sites. And that same year, I believe it was Heartland Banks, had plans to lease it and renovate it, but they backed out of that, stating that it was just not economically feasible. So I believe that was a bank. I could be wrong on that. If I am, please correct me in the comments. And then in 2020, the Ohio Air and Space Association, nonprofit, they signed a long-term lease for it. And they are planning to renovate it to use as a Hall of Fame, and also for educational training for kids and adults, and some meeting rooms and such. At that time, they were estimating about $2 million to restore it. I've since read that that is now up to $4 million. They were supposed to start restoration in 2023, but that didn't happen. So I don't know what the fate of the building is going to be. Hopefully, their plans are still in place and they do something with it. I just really hate to see this building torn down or turned into something like a restaurant or a bar. But just a little bit of aviation history there for both Columbus and the United States. And I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for watching. And we'll see you in another video.